Alright, so I'm going to show you how to install our direct fit Audison speaker upgrade for the 3-door and 5-door Jimneys. So we're going to start with a standard door. Now this is the kit that includes our direct fit tweeter replacement pod, which you get supplied exactly like this. So these are the tools we're going to need for the job. Phillips head screwdriver, pair of scissors, side cutters, trim removal tools, some cable ties, and I'm going to cheat and use a drill. So we start actually with the trim tool, and we pop off the tweeter pod, which is quite easy to remove. There's 3 Phillips head screws, one there, and then 2 under here. They come out, and again we get our trim removal tool just to get in behind the plastic door card. Once you get a finger in there, you can pull nice and sharply just to remove the plastic clips. Makes a horrible noise, but it works. And that just lifts off. Put him aside. And here's our lovely 4-inch paper cone speaker, which we're going to get rid of quickly. So we want to keep these little screws, because our speaker space is going to fit directly on there. I'm a silly person and left the speaker space on the other side of the car. Ah, it's right here. There it is. So that's our direct fit speaker spacer, which you can see it's got a little arrow to indicate the up direction, and there is a left hand and a right hand version. So this is the correct one. So you see it actually lines up with those there. So this speaker, once it's unscrewed, oops, comes off. You just got to unclip that, put him aside. Now we're going to get our speaker sealing tape, and we're going to put it across the back of this. And this is why we need the pair of scissors. So what I do is I just go around the outside of those sockets there, because that's where those little blue clips fit in. Now on a 3-door, those clips are a slightly different shape than on a 5-door, but these spaces work on both the 3-door and 5-door. Get it to there. Trim. Now make sure I've got the orientation correct. It's a little bit fiddly. You're just going to line these little guys up. If I had my little torch, I could probably see a bit better. Oh, got him. You have to bear with me whilst I fiddle with this, but you're going to do the same thing when you're doing this at home. Now you can actually take the clips out of the door and put the clips into the spacer first, but I actually find this way, whilst annoying, does work well. So I just cut a couple of seconds there whilst I got this lined up correctly. Then we're going to use the original screws from the speaker to go back in here. Now note, I'm not going to go too hard on them, because if we do, we could crack the spacer, and we don't want to do that. It's holding in. I like to do this by hand just so I can feel that it's tightening in nicely. There we go. You might have to squish the little clip in a little bit just so that it bites properly. There we go. Now that's on nice and firmly. Now we're going to take off the supplied screws for the speaker, and we are going to use these ones. So don't use the screws that come with your speaker. Use these nice M4 screws that we include with the speaker spacer. So, I'm not going to do the speaker just yet, but I'm going to point out these Audisons come with the supplied rattle device. Remove that. You don't want that. But now we're going to get our wiring ready. So, what I like to do here, get our little crossover, Now we always have this set to 0 dB on that little switch. You can set that to +2 if you want, but we sometimes find that can be a little bit intense. Get a little bit of the foam tape. I'm just going to put a bit of the foam tape around this guy. Just because we're going to install this up here. We got that cable tie through here. Ready to go. Now, get him up in there like that. It takes a little bit of fiddling around because you've got to get your cable tie tied up first. And then slide cutters, trim off that cable tie, and he's in place. Nice and safe. Now, we need to run the longer cable here, which says input. Need to run that down behind the plastic here. So you can tuck it in there and shove your hand up through there if you want. I'm not going to do that right now because it's a little bit annoying. And I personally find this way a little bit easier. So carefully peel back the plastic moisture barrier, which you should be able to do pretty easily. Grab that cable and let's follow the factory wiring path. Just going to peel him back a little bit further just so you can see a little bit better. Just going to stick that there. Now when you put your hand behind it, you'll see this wiring comes here, along here, and then down there. So we're going to cable tie that new wire to the factory wiring. Excuse me whilst I hold some cable ties in my mouth. In she goes. Get our side cutters to trim them off, and we can replace the moisture barrier to exactly how it was before. Look at that, we were never here. Now you get our plug and play wiring adapter. And you can see you got 2 bullet terminals and 2 bullet sockets. So black to black, red to red. Pretty obvious. They go in like that. Then this plugs into the original speaker wiring plug. Now what I like to do here is get another one of our cable ties, tuck that in, and just cable tie that excess wiring away. So once my hands get out of the way, you'll be able to see this. Just so it doesn't rattle around in there. That's the main reason for doing this. Because there's nothing worse than rattles in your door when you're driving along, trying to listen to music. There we go. So that's nice and neat and all hidden out of the way. So I'm just going to tuck them off. Now I'm going to put some more of that speaker foam just around that edge there, just so that the speaker seals nicely onto the spacer. I like to start it just near a one of those threaded inserts, just so I can remember where they are. There we go. Get my scissors. Beautiful. Now I'm going to prepare one screw ready to go. Those 2 wires that I had here. So there's a small terminal and a large terminal. Pretty difficult to get this wrong. Make sure they're on nice and firmly, which they are. It's lovely. Now the magnet is quite strong and will want to sit out of alignment. So hold him there. And then we're just going to start him. you go, so that's held in place. I'm going to find those other screws. Oh, here they are. And notice I'm not doing them all the way up, I'm just putting them in with the drill. And I'm not putting any pressure forward, because the last thing we want to do is slip and go straight through the speaker. We've all made that mistake only once. Do them up by hand, just until they're nipped up. These don't have to be silly tight, they just need to be nipped up. Oops. Okay, that's in place, ready to go. So now that's our cable there for the tweeter. Once we get up there, so we're ready to put our door card back on. So excuse me, let's grab him. Make sure all our clips are on there, which they are.
Bottom one.
No, one's missing here. Oh, two are missing. So give me a moment. I'll grab a. Well, this tool will do. Look at that. It's got a fork on it. Pull them off, and you might have noticed that. Oh, that was a good tight. That one was different there. There we are. I'll place them back onto the door card, with the different one being that guy there. Put that up. The door card slips on from the top. We've got a nice good edge that slips on there. Stick your head around and make sure all the clips are lined up before you give it a little tap all around the place. Make sure your cable's ready. We'll get our 3 original screws and we'll put them back in. Then we can fit our tweeter. Now, you have to get the original trim here. Notice it's got that clip, which is missing on our new one. So we just transfer the clip over, slide him out, slide him in. Now again, these are male and female, so you won't get this wrong, or if you manage to somehow, well done. That's ready. We just tuck this in here so it's out of the way. Now see these little clips, they slide in there. Make sure your cable's out of the way. Line the clip up and click, in she goes. Ta-da, we're done. Now you're ready to enjoy some much improved sound.